What's up guys, Travis with TCustomz Productionz, TCustomz.com. Today we're going back through the YouTube comments and answering your questions. Some of you have recently sent in some video questions. Through the process, I've asked you to submit some more complex or detailed questions to ask at TCustomz.com. I'm still going through those submissions, and after I figure out which ones I want to do like detailed explanations on and actually upload on the channel, I'll be back in contact with you. And that's another benefit, is that typically I'll go into more detail on those video question submissions. But today I'm going back through, like I said, the YouTube comments over the past 2 to 3 weeks and picking select questions in here to give my responses to. First question is from Paris Metro Music. Can the MPD control MIDI hardware without being connected to a computer? I noticed it came with an AC adapter at the back. So I personally haven't used my MPD or MPK for anything other than direct connection to my computer. There's different ways that you can interface. There's a USB interface that you can connect directly to your computer, and when you connect USB, it actually powers your device also. It has the data line and it also has the power connection. Now if you use the alternate MIDI in and out on the back of the MPD and the MPK, you're also going to need to power the device, and so that's the reason that the AC adapter is there. On the MPD, I run the USB directly to my computer. In the MPK, I used to do the same way until my USB connector on the back actually broke, and I haven't really gone through the process to get a new connector and actually weld that on and get that fixed. So in the meantime, I'm just using a MIDI to USB cable that I bought on Sweetwater, I think many years ago, but when using that, it doesn't actually power the device, so you have to run the AC adapter in addition to that. So the next question from Nathan: what kind of software are you using? I'm trying to get into producing. So this is a question I get a lot, and you know, there's a number of software out there, and I've shot videos in the past on what's the best DAW, what are my top virtual instruments. Many of you know that I use Ableton Live, but I also just want to remind you that on my website, tcustomz.com/about.html, there's a list of all of my hardware and software, and I update that. If I switch out my interface or I upgrade my software, that will be up to date. There's a little snippet about me and kind of my history and how I got into music, and then my hardware, my software, and then a lot of the business tools and different resources that I use. So I just want to plug that page. So if you ask me, hey, what's hardware, software, you can always go to tcustomz.com/about.html, and that will have all of my music hardware and software that I use. Next question is from Voltaire. I'm really curious about how to start a music career, especially singing. I write my own songs. I just don't know where or how to start. Can you please do a video on it? I think this is kind of a really general question, and you know, how to get started. Whether it's a singing career, as an artist, as a producer, like, you just get started. Put together quality music. You gotta make sure, number one, that you're honing in on perfecting your craft. If the music doesn't speak for itself once people start to hear it, then it doesn't really matter how much marketing and how much branding and all the extra stuff that you do behind it. So the music first, and then that's one of the reasons why I upload a lot of the music marketing and branding stuff that I have in the past and that I continue to do, is just stuff that I've learned over the years. It's not like a one clear-cut path and like this is the formula. There's certain things that you need to have in place. Consistency is a big thing that I see a lot of people lacking. Social media presence has got to be there. Professional website. I mean, there's a lot of things that go into establishing yourself. I mean, really in any business, in any venture that you want to get into, whether it be music or something totally unrelated, there's a number of things. So it's hard for me to just summarize in one video. It still boggles my mind how many people are afraid to shoot a video, whether it be them in the studio, walking down the street, doing a vlog. It's really difficult to cut through the clutter if you aren't doing things above and beyond what every other artist and producer and DJ, musician, singer, songwriter is doing. Again, that's why I've uploaded a number of videos and different topics for how to engage your following, tips for social media, tips for Facebook ads. So hopefully that gives you some insight. If you'd like to check out the other videos on the channel, feel free. And I've also gone into more detail on some of the articles on my blog as well. Okay, next question comes from Luigi. It says, how can I learn to compose keynotes from scratch? You learn to compose just like you learn to do anything by doing it. Like I'd mentioned in the piano tips for Beatmaker series at the very beginning, you know, my path might be a little bit different than yours in terms that I took a formal lesson that really gave me a good foundation to be able to understand theory and how to connect notes and how to make chords and how to do runs and scales and all that. So if you don't have that foundation and you don't plan to go that route, then it's just a matter of educating yourself. From there, it's just a lot of practice, training your fingers to do the things that you want. The beauty, like I've talked about before, the beauty of having software that we can record into and manipulate MIDI notes is that even if you're not a fluent player, it's not like you're recording audio in many cases, you're recording in MIDI format, and you can just record little pieces and segments, and even if you can't play the full 8/16 bars in one time, you can kind of piece together certain segments, and even if you mess up in a certain spot, you'll be able to adjust those MIDI notes to get it to where you want. I put together about 15 videos with various piano tips. If that can help you in some way, if going a formal route and picking up one of the books like I talked about, but a lot of practice. There were a number of other questions asked, and many of them have been addressed in previous videos. I get a lot of questions about hardware and software that I don't even use. It's not that I wouldn't answer these kind of questions if I knew, but I just really don't have the knowledge in those areas. It's just like people ask me about an MPC and ask me about certain things. Like, I don't have an MPC. I've never used an MPC personally, so it's hard for me. I would like to help. I'd like to give some answers in those areas, but you would probably be better to go to somebody who does maybe tutorials for an MPC, or if you're interested in machine, like seek those people out on YouTube that have the skill set in those areas. That will be your best bet if you don't personally see me using that particular hardware or software. Hopefully this helped out answer some of your questions. I'll make sure to link all of the resources and things that I mentioned in the description. If you did submit a question that wasn't answered, my recommendation would be to check some of the other videos on the channel. I've even separated a lot of the videos in playlists. So if you're looking for a certain style, if you're looking for tutorials, there's a tutorial in Ableton Live, beat making tips playlist. If you're looking for just music marketing branding, there's a playlist for that. So I've tried to do what I can to separate and make it easy as possible if you're looking for a specific topic, certain type of video, and the same type of categories on my website as well. And again, just as a reminder, if you have a long and detailed technical question, please make sure to forward that in video format to ask@TCustomz.com. And if it's a compelling question, I'll make sure that it gets uploaded with a detailed explanation and answer on the channel. Keep the question coming. All my social media information and direct contact. If you have any serious inquiries, it will all be listed in the description box. If you need one-on-one coaching or consulting for your music production or for music business and branding and helping you develop kind of a marketing plan, you can always contact me. We can get you worked in there as well. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace. We were out there just kind of hanging out. Pete Rock was having a conversation right in front of the hotel. We went up, got a couple pictures. Coming back over, I'm sitting on a bench by myself, and he just kind of comes over and just casually sits down. I heard him talking to somebody about he's waiting on a ride to go pick up some shoes, but I definitely was not expecting for him just to sit down right there.